The following program is intended for mature audiences.
You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And check out every episode of the show at basicallysports.tumblr.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg, Mike.
And you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
The absolute worst!
Shall we begin, gentlemen?
Yes. Let's shall. Tom Brady now has more postseason victories than every other NFL quarterback currently has postseason starts. So,
I have to apologize to Tom Brady. I really must have pissed him off big time.
Yeah,
man.
8 straight AFC Championship games.
13 overall.
Speaking of that, do you guys know who has the second most consecutive conference championship game appearances?
Who?
Would be the Oakland Raiders with 5 in the 70s. After that, the Bills with 4, obviously, in the 4 straight Super Bowl trips. And then it was like Cowboys, Rams, Eagles all had 3.
Yeah, but all those are nice. But, I mean, we've talked about it before. This Patriots dynasty is unmatched.
Absolutely, without question.
In terms of longevity, like you can take your 70s Steelers, you can take your 80s Niners, all really good teams. Not 15 or at minimum. Even if you want to be conservative and say it's only 10 years of dominance with the 10 straight titles, and yeah, the Super Bowls were won non-consecutively, whatever, but still, like 8 consecutive title games. Super Bowls after Super Bowls.
Well, let me put up a defense for the San Francisco 49ers here in saying that they were dominant from 81 to about 95. They didn't go to consecutive conference title games. They went to 10 out of 13.
Yeah. Different quarterbacks.
5 Super Bowls, the whole bit. But that's as close as you're going to get. And I can't say, honestly, that the Niners run from that in that time period matches what the Patriots have done, because like you said, different quarterbacks, different coaches, the whole thing. This has just been, I've been around for a long time. I've watched sports for a long time. I've never seen anything like this in any sport. And I don't care. You can run all the old Yankees teams at me or the Celtics of the 60s. We've never seen anything like this. This is amazing.
And, And, what happened to my Chargers is what I expected to happen.
I think we expected the Chargers to lose, but not like that.
Like,
they were dominated offense, defense, and I think most particularly in terms of coaching decisions, they were just outmanned at every spot, including the head coach.
Dude, they lost who parked where in the parking lot. That's how badly they were beaten yesterday.
I mean, come on. It's Bill Belichick. You're not going to outcoach Bill Belichick.
But you're not going to outcoach him, but, like, you don't have to be an idiot.
I put this in our text chat yesterday that I still believe the Chargers are the more talented team of the two, but they are nowhere near as well coached as the Patriots are. I'd never seen a game where it was so obvious to me how much of a difference the right coaching can make.
Particularly on defense, because what the Chargers' problem was in this game was they sat back and played that zone, and Tom Brady ate them alive.
Yep.
And they never adjusted to it. Not once. Not once did they go back to man-to-man and blitzing. The formula to beat Tom Brady is pretty simple when you break it down. You pressure him and you play man-to-man.
Yep.
That's what you do. So why teams like the Chargers in this instance choose not to do that time over time, and when they are continually beaten by choosing the wrong game plan, refuse to adjust, what are you supposed to do?
Well, I wonder if the Chargers just aren't very good at man-to-man defense, and they know that.
Maybe.
I don't know. I just know that.
But if that's the case, then you got to get your offense in gear.
I never saw the Patriots at any point yesterday look like they didn't know exactly what was going to happen next, no matter what it was. at times the Chargers looked like they should have had the Benny Hill theme song playing underneath them. It was just I'd never seen the coaching differences so obvious like that. And it was just like, wow, this team is still, because let's be right out front about it. Brady's 41 years old and he can still play, but he's not Death Star Tom Brady like he was 5-6 years ago. They've got.
Could have fooled me.
He's not. I mean, he's still really good. But the point being is that they adjust so well. Belichick does so well to what he has to work with, and this is what I've always said separates the great coaches from the good ones. Are the guys that go, okay, I don't have a good running game, so we'll do this instead. Or I don't have a good passing game. You know what I mean? He does what is necessary with the personnel that he has, and that's why this team has lasted as long as it has. Yesterday I stopped hating him. I thought, it's pointless now to hate. Sit back and just appreciate it for what it is.
Another thing is, it's like, it's the playoffs. If people were like, oh, the Patriots, they lost a couple big games during the regular season, this is the end of the window, and it's like, nope, the playoffs, they started. They got a first round bye, so last week was the start of their playoff run, and they showed what they continue to prove. This is what the Patriots do in the postseason. Yeah. It
wasn't even all Tom Brady.
No, it wasn't even all Tom Brady, and they completely. And so that's the thing where you can't even say like, oh, it's just Tom Brady wheeling a bunch of like scrubs. No, it's not. Like, they beat a 12-4 Chargers team that was white hot for most of the season.
That defense stepped up.
And they beat them like they were the Jacksonville Jaguars of this year. Like they went 3-13 or whatever. I mean, it was just ugly. Complete dominance. 35-7. 35-7 at halftime.
The Patriots had never scored on their first three possessions of a postseason game before, which sounds amazing. And they did it here, where it was 21-7 in a blink. And like you said, Greg, all the way up to 35-7.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers was visibly frustrated all day, as you kind of expected him to be. As soon as anything goes wrong, that's kind of how Phil is. But I would be too if I'm 0-8 against Tom Brady.
It's just I don't know who you would say. If Bill Belichick isn't the greatest coach of all time, then I don't know who is. I don't know who you would say is if he's not. I mean, who is the other guy? Name me the other guy that's as good as he is.
The only one I could possibly think of would be, Bill Walsh? Maybe.
Bill Walsh, Tom Landry.
For a time.
Lombardi.
But Lombardi did the 3 straight championships and all that. But different era, different game.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Landry, that team was consistently in the playoffs. And I think they won 3 Super Bowls with him, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, Chuck Noll,
yeah. But none of them came close to what Belichick has done.
No,
I mean, and look, I'm not knocking Noll or Landry or Walsh or Lombardi, but Belichick has just basically Michael Jordan coaching. It's just like or better yet, he's Wayne Gretzky did. He's Wayne Gretzky in the 209-point season said, I'm sticking this up here. Good luck trying to get to it. That's what he's done.
Yeah. I don't know. And, Anthony Lynn after the game, of course, does the whole, I'm of the belief that one game does not define this a season, and our football team was a really good football team, and et cetera, et cetera. But
okay.
And the thing that we thought it was going to be the snow that was going to do him in. Mm-hmm. The snow never showed up. It was cold, and Bill Belichick let the Chargers know by taping a thermometer to their entrance to the field. It's normally not there. But they were outclassed from the first snap, and it was pretty obvious.
And I think it was all coaching. I do. I don't think they're more talented than the Chargers. I mean, is Sony Michel better than Mel Gordon? No. I think at times he can be as good, but consistently as good, no.
And it's not even just coaching as in terms of preparation, because you can prepare all you want, but once you get punched in the face a little bit,
right? That's what the difference was. Yeah,
that's when you have to adjust, and they just it wasn't that they made the wrong adjustments. It's that they never adjusted.
No.
They never did anything to get themselves back into that game. Yeah, they had some scores late, but at that point, what does it matter? The game was lost well before the Chargers scored again.
Yeah. No, it was just a matter of the Chargers weren't ready to counteract anything the Patriots did. And the Patriots, the Chargers could have said, we're going to come out and run the Harlem Globetrotters offense, and the Patriots would have been ready for it. Like, okay, we've seen this. No problem. It's just amazing to me. I mean, and again, it's easy to hate on them, and it's really, really easy to be tired of them. But, and what's this, like 8 years in a row now that I've said this? But at some point, you got to sit down and just appreciate what you're seeing.
Yeah,
and that's where I'm at.
This is why, at the begining of the year, when we do our predictions, this is why I keep picking the Patriots until they don't. And it sucks. And I hate it just as much as anybody else. But you can't deny it. It's just, they will win until they don't. Yeah,
I learned a really good lesson this year. Until they don't make the playoffs, as far as I'm concerned, they're the favorite. And it's not just getting the play. I mean, they've got to completely miss the playoffs. Then I'll say, okay, they can't do it this year. But it's just, I think the end of the road is, you can see it now. I think it's coming up. But it's a lot further away than I thought it was at the beginning of the season. I still think it's there. Because Brady can't keep doing this forever.
No, it's there until Brady or Belichick leaves.
And I so wish Belichick, if they don't win it this year, would just go, you know what, I'm done.
Brady will keep doing it as long as his mineral water continues to fuel him.
Right. But I want Bill Belichick to say, okay, I've done all I can do here. Get me Jimmy Haslam on the phone. I want to go back to Cleveland and fix the one black mark on my career. That's what I want. I just sit and I look and I go, God, we had this guy. We had this guy. And you could tell he was a good coach. It was right there in front of everybody, but they hated his personality so much that they overlooked what he had done as a coach with that team. And it drives me nuts. What are you going to do? I still think the Chiefs might win this week, though, because the Pats have not been great on the road this year.
Yeah, and it's, sorry.
Again, until they lose.
Yeah,
they'll win until they lose.
Not only that, but what did I just say? I just basically said that Andy Reid's going to win a game he's up against Bill Belichick. Yeah, that's not going to happen, is it?
Like, I'm sorry, Greg. I can't take that. I can't go on that ride with you because,
could they? Sure.
Oh yeah.
No, it's not.
Hey, the pre-2018 Cleveland Browns blew the Patriots out a couple years ago. 3 years ago. Anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What month was that in?
November, actually.
Surely wasn't January.
No, what I'm saying, though, is that, like, anything can happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. Were you guys impressed with the Chiefs on Saturday? Or Sunday, whenever they played?
I mean, they took care of business. They beat the Colts, which I think is a big indictment that maybe we were all a bit too high on the Colts.
Yeah, I also think, too, that...
Like, as soon as they actually had to play, like, a legitimately talented team.
Yeah, that was that.
But to the Colts' credit, I mean, not that it matters because they still lost by, 18. But Patrick Mahomes didn't throw a touchdown pass.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's bad news.
That was one of the stats of the weekend was that Mahomes and Jared Goff, neither of them threw touchdown passes in their team's wins.
Well, Goff had the reincarnated version of Larry Zonka and Jim Kick in the backfield. He didn't need to.
Right. The Chiefs just were able to motor along, and that's not to say that Mahomes didn't make some incredible throws, and he ran in one himself. So he was still a factor in the game. I don't know if I was impressed, but it's kind of when they were doing it just kind of seemed matter of fact.
Yeah.
That this is just what they're doing. And it certainly wasn't their high flying offense of other points of the year. But the thing that was impressive was just the overall performance because by the time the Colts got their first down of the game, the Chiefs got 18 first downs before the Colts even had one.
I like the stat in the Patriots-Chargers game. The Patriots had 21 first downs. The Chargers had 20 offensive plays run. God. I think the Colts just, again, I don't know if I don't want to say it was coaching so much, but they just kind of fell apart under the spotlight yesterday. or Saturday.
Yeah, I think they probably just ran out of gas.
Yeah.
And plus, again, we think of Indianapolis, it's part of the Midwest, it's a cold place, but they're still an indoor team.
Yeah.
And, but then credit to the Chiefs defense, that front seven were able to collapse the pocket around Andrew Luck and, make him make quick decisions, and they were able to get a hit on him, a fair amount of times. So I think it was just a complete effort by the Chiefs. It's amazing that this is their first AFC Championship game in as long as it has been since
93?
When we were talking about it last week, that Montana team.
Yeah.
That last won a game. So it's for a team that has the history and even just the length of being a competitive team in recent times is kind of an important win for them to just get over the hump.
Yeah, it's the thing they can take to heart, I guess, in Kansas City is that the Patriots, I want to say they were like 3-5 on the road this year. So there's that, I guess. But they've also, as you saw in the game yesterday, have ratcheted it up to Death Star mode again. They're back to being the Patriots that score whenever we want, do whatever we want, and laugh as you try to stop us. So I don't know what's going to happen. It should be a good matchup.
Plus, we are now, it's the coaching matchup I think we've all wanted. Playoffs, Andy Reid versus Bill Belichick. Does the Reid-ing occur?
Yeah, he hasn't had a chance to really blow it so far this year.
No,
it'll be something. It'll be something.
No, we'll see what happens. If this is a close game late, we'll see what happens.
Oh, if it's a close game late, forget it. Belichick will just mind fuck him, and that'll be that.
He'll just mind fuck him.
He will. He'll do what he did to Pete Carroll in the Super Bowl. He'll just stand there and go, I'm not going to do anything. Do what you're going to do.
Move. What? No, oh my God. I fucked myself.
Remember in the Super Bowl, they were like, Patriots going to call timeout, and Belichick just stood there. He's like, no, it's on you, bro. Here you go. They called that stupid play through the interception. The Patriots walked off, and you're going, well, there you go. That's why he's Bill Belichick. It's going to be something. But yeah, I'm done hating them. I'm just going to sit back and appreciate it. Honestly, if they win it again this year, I've got no problem with that. None.
All I can do is laugh. One, because of course the fucking Chargers do this to me again. Like, Zach, you were like, Mike, why do you do this to yourself? You've got to quit the juice.
What my point was not that you can't quit. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess you can't, but it's one of those things where you've been kind of born and bred with the Chargers.
Yeah.
For, not for local reasons, but this has been your team your whole life. Your dad's a Charger fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was until they moved to LA, but yeah, he was for a very long time.
Right. But okay. Yeah. So, but all that is you're born and bred, you've been through the battles, and you don't have necessarily that local connection that would make you, throw them off, unlike your dad. You're in it. No matter what happens, you're in it, unfortunately, and that's just what your lot in life is.
Yeah, no, my lot in life is Ben Affleck in that Sound of Silence video. That's my lot in life.
my message when we were talking about this in the chat was kind of in relation to, people always keep saying, oh, the Chargers will, if they keep winning, people in LA will come. You can win all you want, but based on all they've done as a franchise on the outside, whether it's Spanos and the move and the stadium and et cetera, and then you add in, you could win 12 games every year, but this is how it's going to end every single time.
Except for the Stan Humphries-led Chargers of 94.
Well, even then.
They went to the Super Bowl and then lost by 56 points.
To not even the Montana 49ers.
No.
Even dignity losing to the Montana 49ers.
No, this is the Steve Young 49ers, which are still a pretty good team. But yeah, I get what you were saying, Zach. Why would an LA fan with a choice choose the Chargers? You're always going to get your lights out type guy, the contrarian, that just wants to be the guy that's with the bad team. But I got your point completely. There's no reason. And first off, the Rams are legitimately your hometown team. They used to be. They were gone for a while and they came back. They're a Los Angeles football team. Okay, the Chargers, and I was talking to my girlfriend about this because she's like, I don't get it. Why wouldn't they be fans of the Chargers in LA? She said they used to play there. I said, for one season. I said, this would be as absurd as if we got the Browns back, and then 5 years later, the Rams showed up again. Oh, we're back in Cleveland. Everybody be like, what the fuck are you doing here? Why are you here? We're not interested. Well, what if we win? We don't care.
I mean, yeah,
we're Browns fans.
Like the Rams might have started off in Cleveland, but like they are like LA. They are LA's team.
Yeah, and that I don't think that's
kind of just like the Chargers started off in LA, but they are San Diego's team, or at least were.
It just you look at the history of the Chargers, and this is unfortunately for you, Mike. This is what they're made to do.
Mm-hmm.
They're
even the Feltz era. They'd always play off the playoffs.
Oh my God, they played in that game, and I want to say it was the early '80s, maybe '83. It's considered one of the greatest games of all time against the Dolphins. Where Kellen Winslow practically killed himself, and they still lost, didn't they?
No, they won that game.
Then they had to go. That was in '81.
Then they went on to get killed. Then they went on to lose to Cincinnati in the AFC Championship.
Right, because that was the year where they played that game in Miami, and the following week they came to Ohio, and like it was Polar Vortex and New Hope, the very first Polar Vortex happened. Yeah. And it was like minus 60 below, and they had to play in that. And they didn't do half bad, but it was like they're never going to win this game. It's just not, and not after coming off that crucible they went through last week, and then going into this, it's just not going to happen. I think there are two things that would solve their problem, at least help. Fix the damn uniforms. Go back to any one of the prior sets. Doesn't even matter which one. Pull one out of a hat. It'll be fine. And go back to San Diego, because this is not working, folks.
They're not going to go back to San Diego. They're going to go back to Dignity Health Sports, Sauna, and Softball Pavilion.
You forgot Bingo again.
And Bingo Hall.
Bingo and Bridge Night.
Part of me is disappointed that we didn't get to see Colts Chargers.
That would have just been the cherry on the top of this idiot Sunday for this whole thing with this move.
Well, that would be great. It's like the AFC title game coming to you from Dignity Health Sports Pavilion.
Sports Complex.
Sports Complex in Carson, California.
And at commercial breaks, they come out of commercial break with a bump showing people playing softball on the other field.
And the whole thing that really got me was that the NFL is concerned that the venue is too small for a game of that magnitude. It was like, well, you're the ones who let them move there.
Right.
If you didn't want to risk having a title game played in that stadium, don't let a team move to that stadium.
Yeah, it's just – I think we've talked about it before. It is without a doubt the dumbest sports move of them all to do this. Just dumb. Yeah. Anyway, do we want to talk a little bit about the NFC side of things here?
Fuck you, Nick Foles. It's over.
I had a theory yesterday. I forgot to bring this up. How many games did that made that he had started at this point? Was that 4?
This season?
Yeah.
4 or 5, yeah.
See, because I think he has an expiration date of 3 games. And once he hits that point, because he sucked yesterday. I don't care what anybody says. That dude was fucking terrible.
He was good for 10 minutes.
The second half of that game is exactly why Nick Foles is not a starter.
Right.
Yeah, but in the end, if Alshon Jeffrey doesn't let that ball touch both of his hands and it goes straight through.
You saw the passes he was throwing, though. Come on.
I know. I saw him all game, but I also saw on that one drive, on that final drive, he almost pulled it together to pull another one out of his ass.
I don't think so. That interception was just inevitable.
He was throwing some pretty bad passes.
Yeah,
it was. Trust me, I saw that. I'm just saying on the one drive, somehow he almost got Philly to move on again, but it didn't go their way. But yeah, Philadelphia capitalized on a couple mistakes early on, and they had that 14-0 lead, and that was it. After the Saints converted that punt return or fake punt, on 4th down, and then they scored a touchdown on a 4th down, and after that, they started moving. And even then, it's not like the Saints were blowing people out of the water in this game, though.
No.
So they were fine.
That's what I was going to ask you. After watching the Saints yesterday, how concerned are you that you have to go play them there?
Not as.
It seems like their offense was really on track for a while there. When they stopped scoring like 40 points a game, they seem to have I don't want to say a tough time, but it doesn't seem as easy to them as it was for a while there. Like it's now a little tougher. And
but I'd say this gets about the Rams and the Chiefs, all these teams.
Yeah, but the Rams found something with that running attack yesterday. My goodness.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Who is that other guy? I had
C.J. Anderson from the Broncos.
C.J. Anderson.
Yeah, he won the Super Bowl with the Broncos.
Yeah.
Getting that Super Bowl magic.
Yeah.
Dude, that was like
yeah, it's just odd. Like, C.J. Anderson, really.
No,
we just needed like another fullback in there to run the old wishbone and just have some fun with this shit. That was awesome.
The way that he's come in, he gets signed because the Rams' backup running back is injured, and then Todd Gurley is questionable with a knee going into Arizona, and so they say, well, we got to get somebody, and who's available? Well, this guy that was cut by the Raiders and is hanging on to the end of his career here, I guess he's got experience, and we'll put him in there until Todd has to come back.
Yeah, he was basically a he can't kill us type of pickup. Like we're not expecting much, but he's experienced. He won't kill us.
And he's come in the Arizona game, the San Francisco game, and now this game, he's been a fixture. He's given the Rams a different dynamic to this offense where, as good as Todd Gurley is, you don't want him to get banged up by crashing in the middle of the line. So now they have sort of this thunder lightning combo where you can run C.J. Anderson straight ahead, and then you give Todd Gurley the stretch plays, and off of both of them, you can start running the play action that makes the Rams so deadly. And that's what you saw happen against Dallas, where not only were they didn't even have to throw the ball that well. Jared Goff did fine, but they were running extremely well. And part of that too is credit to the offensive line, because in the two big losses at the end of the year, the Philadelphia game and the Chicago game, those were both games that the line did not perform up to its caliber. And in the last few weeks now, they've reestablished themselves. They have these guys moving behind them, and the Rams have changed from a finesse, throw it all over the place team to a power running first team with a play action option. And now they look like a completely different team, and one that might be built to win in January.
Yeah. I mean, what did they have, like 290 yards on the ground yesterday?
275, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was balanced. It wasn't like one of them went off and the other one had they both
had 100.
Yeah, it wasn't like Gurley had 190 and Anderson had 30. You see that where you go, oh, look at that. But I mean, they were like balanced and like I said, man, it was Larry Zonka and Jim Kick or Ernest Biner and Kevin Mack from the old Browns days. Just amazing. Just and that, I think, when you've got an offense like the Rams, if you can set up that running game, oh my God.
Well, in the same thing as I said with New Orleans, where they had a fourth down and went on to score. This game kind of turned on 2 fourth downs, because give credit to the Cowboys, they were in this thing early. They were competing with the Rams for a bit, but then the Rams got that little separation. They stopped the Cowboys on a fourth down at midfield, and then they score on a fourth down on the goal line to make that 8-point lead a 15-point lead, and then Dallas was just never able to get back in it at that point, and that's when the Rams really locked the game down, was that series of fourth downs.
And can I just say, too, speaking of the Cowboys, Ezekiel Elliott is the strangest looking person I've ever seen.
He's one of yours.
I know. Is he doing like the Marlon Brando thing where he stuffs cotton in his jaws like from The Godfather? I don't get it. Anyway, yeah, if the Rams could run the ball like this, it makes them just doubly dangerous. And we were going like we wanted to see an NFC Championship game of Rams Saints, and we got it. But what we were hoping for at the time was like another one of those aerial circuses, and we're not going to get that, I don't think, this time. It's going to be running and power football and all that, which is fine too. But it's just that running game. C.J. Anderson was on the scrap heap, and look at him go. I mean,
yeah. C.J. Anderson ran for 123 on 23 carries. Todd Gurley ran for 115 on 16 carries.
Wasn't that Anderson's at least his second straight 100-yard game? Maybe third?
Yeah, well, third straight. Yeah. And then, on the other side, the thing that was also key to this game, it was funny just going into the week, people thought that, the Cowboys are going to have the advantage on the ground and on the lines. You look at the running attack for the Rams and then the running attack for the Cowboys. I got to say, Ndamukong Suh stepped up. That was the best game he's played as a Ram. They held Ezekiel Elliott 20 carries to only 47 yards.
Yeah,
on the ground.
That's important because I think too the Cowboys. I don't know how much longer you stick with Dak Prescott. I don't think he's a horrible quarterback, but he's not a guy that's going to get you to the next level. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. He's just not there.
Yeah. Well, again, because they won a game, they're going to stick with Dak for a bit.
Oh, yeah.
What is it? Jason Garrett got a 5-year extension or something?
Did he really?
Some sort of extension. Well, I want to say it's 5 years, but I do know that he's at least being extended.
Well, Cousin Sal from the Bill Simmons podcast is going to kill himself.
Not only is he being extended, but apparently he did an interview with Dallas media where he basically said he's keeping the offensive coordinator on board and he doesn't foresee any major changes. Yeah, he doesn't see any major changes coming. So was the playoff win really worth it, Dallas? Like, did you?
Yeah, I don't know. Especially when you look at that team and you think, I don't know if they can make the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was worth it. I think to me, like, put it this way. If this were a case of, like, if the Browns were in that spot or the Packers, and if we lose, goodbye Mike McCarthy, goodbye Hugh Jackson, or if we win, they stick around, I'm like, you know what? Lose this game. Lose it bad. Get it over with. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the Deadspin headline pretty simply puts it out there. Jason Garrett contract will be extended to a second decade after second playoff win.
You know what? I can't even be mad at him anymore. Like, you get that paycheck, Jason. Like, if Jerry Jones is willing to write that check, why not?
Yeah.
Like, and that's pretty good job security. You only need to marginally succeed once in a decade, and you get it. Like, I mean, that's not bad work if you can get it.
No, not at all. Not at all.
That's incredible. So the other, I guess, weird thing that happened in the game. Did you see the only sack in this game? The Dak Prescott sack that really wasn't?
I must have missed that. I must have missed it, or at least I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
It was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. I'm sending you the Deadspin link now. It has a video in it. Dak Prescott's kind of rolling around, and the Rams kind of are jumping at him, and one of the Rams gets his hand on the back of his helmet, but doesn't get him. Mm-hmm. His own lineman kind of grabs him from behind to keep him standing up straight, to keep him moving, and then the refs pull the play dead because they ruled that the quarterback was in the grasp
of his own lineman.
Just watch the video, you'll see.
Let's take a look at this.
Yeah, he's down. His own lineman's got him there.
Let's take a look.
That's fucking hysterical. Look at that. That's almost as good as the two Florida guys blocking each other from a few years ago.
Yeah.
That video and that freaking Jesus Brady picture will always be funny to me. I will laugh every time I see that.
Well, the Jesus Brady picture will keep coming out as long as they keep doing what they're doing.
I mean, I could be at a funeral. You'd send me that picture, I'd crack up laughing. It just cracks me up. I don't know why. I mean, it's great.
I think it's the lamb.
Yeah, you would think that after a while I'd finally get over it and go, okay, yes, it's funny and all that, but you don't have to crack up every time you see it, but I can't help myself.
I honestly think it's the ram. Like I think the ram the lamb. The lamb sells it because it's just that little extra bit that pushes it over the top. Right.
That is weird. So I'm surprised they called that a sack. I mean, that's kind of stupid.
Stop his forward momentum, I guess.
Yeah,
I think it's just because they got a hand on his helmet. And then they were like, oh, well, we got to blow it dead so that he's not hurt our precious little quarterback here.
Well, let's see. Okay, there's a close-up. Okay, 56, Fowler gets a shot at. Nah, that's not that bad. Oh, then he kind of tried to smack at him. But his own lineman, I don't get what the old lineman was trying to do there. I don't know. Who knows, man? The officiating's so fucking terrible. It's just bad. But anyway, so let's predict. Who do we like next weekend? I mean, unless we got any more analysis we want to get into with these two games.
I mean, we didn't. I don't even know what to say about the Saints' offense. Generally speaking,
did what it had to do.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was scary, impressive, or anything, but it got the job done.
Let me pull up the numbers here. Drew Brees, 301 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception. Alvin Kamara, 71 yards. Mark Ingram, 59.
Oh, that Michael Thomas, he had himself a game.
Yeah, 12 receptions, 171.
Was it just 12? I thought it was like 15 or something. I thought he had even more than that.
No, it says here 12 receptions, 171 yards. But again, it speaks to the fact, I don't know if you want to credit the Eagles defense or what, but the Saints did not put up yards, but they also did put up a ton of points.
No.
So like what I have to say about the Saints offense kind of segues well into my picks, because I believe at the start of, I mean, maybe I'm misremembering it. Listeners can go back and check the tape to see what I said when we first did our predictions at the start of the playoffs, but I'm pretty sure I predicted Patriots-Rams, and they're both in it. Like, they're both in the conference championship game, so I can't really deviate from that pick. But the reason why I'm confident in that is, again, the Saints didn't look particularly exciting. They didn't look particularly explosive on offense. And while, Jared Goff didn't light things up on the Rams side, the Rams found a running game. Whereas, like, I don't know, it seemed like the Saints didn't – like, they weren't explosive when in the air. They weren't necessarily explosive on the run. They kind of just did what they had to do to beat the team they were playing. I think that the Saints' biggest problem, honestly, it's the fact that, we say it when it comes to college football, but it applies to the NFL as well, which is that it's really hard to beat a good team twice a year. Mm-hmm. And the Saints barely beat the Rams when they played during the regular season. And I think that, the Rams are obviously going to study that tape. The Rams, by all accounts, have a very intelligent coaching staff. They've got Jared Goff, who has proven that he can get it done through the air. Now they've got a very versatile running attack. I don't know. I just don't think, like, the only thing that really works in the Saints' favor is that they have home field and that the Superdome is a intimidating place to play at. But even then, right, like, it's a dome, which means that the Rams' speed is going to be working, like, their speed will be emphasized. So I think the Rams win. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout, but I definitely think that they're going to be able to get the W and go to the Super Bowl. So. And then on the AFC side, it's just a matter of, Bill Belichick versus Andy Reid, because the only way that Andy Reid doesn't Andy Reid is if they're blowing a team out, and I'm sorry, I don't see the Pats getting blown out. Like, the Pats are going to keep it close, and when it gets to be a close game, close late in that game, like you said, Craig, he's just going to get, like, mind-fucked. Like, Belichick's going to mind-fuck Andy Reid, and that'll be it. Like, and for all, like, the people going, it's like, oh, they don't lose, Arrowhead's an intimidating place to play. Like, the Chiefs lost to, like, the fucking Titans last year at Arrowhead. So, don't give me that. Like, I fully expect Bill Belichick to utterly demolish the psyche of Andy Reid over the course of this game, and we're gonna get Rams Pats in the Super Bowl.
I think that the Chiefs can get out to a big lead on the Patriots, and that's the only way they're going to win this game. If it's close, you got to go with the Pats, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs because I might as well. Somebody's got to, and the Patriots, just, again, you got to remember the Chiefs came into Foxborough and put 40 up on the Patriots. And that was a long time ago, really a different season ago. But I can't discount that. I think with the Chiefs at home, if they can get out, they can win the game. But so that's why I'm picking them. I think they will come out fast like they did against the Colts, like they do. And
Greg, you're going to be picking against the Patriots all season until they're literally hoisting the Lombardi trophy.
I really do think that
you've been picking against them all year, and Tom Brady just keeps getting angry.
Yeah, I got it right when they played Detroit. No, I think it's just a home field thing. And again, now I'm qualifying all that by saying if it's close, and of course not, Andy Reid will Andy Reid, and that'll be that. But the Patriots 3-5 on the road this year. That's not a good sign. And I'm giving the Chiefs the home field advantage. That's basically it. I think they can get out quick. And this Mahomes kid's the real deal. He's good. They got some players, Tyreek Hill. I think the Patriots are going to have some trouble with that. So I'm going with the Chiefs. And then in the NFC, boy, that's a tough call. That's harder to pick than the AFC. I mean, I don't know. Part of me wants to say Saints. Part of me wants to say Rams. Boy, when it comes right down to it, they're pretty evenly matched. I hate to do it, Zach. I got to go with quarterback experience. I'm going to go with, just because Drew Brees has got more experience, the Rams lose in a tight one to the Saints. Yeah. And we get the that's going to be an ugly. No, wait, the Saints would have to wear white on the road, right? Because the AFC team's home. No, the NFC team's home.
NFC team's home.
Fuck that. No, I'm going with the Rams because I want a good uniform matchup. Chiefs, Rams. There you go.
I just said you're dead to me, Greg, and then you changed my mind.
Yeah, I'm with Mike too, though. It's really hard. And when you go back to that game, I mean, yeah, the Saints won, but it wasn't. They didn't win big, if I remember right. Did they over the Rams?
It was a 10-point win, and what happened was
the Rams kind of shot themselves in the foot a few times too, right?
Yeah, the Rams were down big in the first half.
Yeah, that's right, and they came back. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Rams.
They were down by like 24, I think, and tied it in the second half. And then the Saints ended up winning. Yeah,
I'm going with the Rams. Rams, Chiefs, and what would be the best possible uniform matchup Super Bowl. That's what I like.
Yeah. I want the Chiefs to win, obviously, but as already illustrated here several times, the Patriots will wait until they lose. And with Andy Reid at the helm, and as much as Patrick Mahomes is fun, I think in a big game like this with Andy Reid behind him and the Patriots on the other side with a shot at the Super Bowl, it's a lot for a quarterback. Maybe he pulls a Brett Favre sort of thing where that's who he's been compared to, right? And he does that thing where he runs to his right.
He's just having fun out there.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until you throw an interception.
Exactly. Yeah, Brett Favre was just having fun out there, but how many playoff games did the Packers and then Vikings lose?
Like 15 or 20. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to pick who I want to win. I'm going to pick who I think will win. I'm switching to the Patriots.
Damn it, Greg, pick a side.
I'm going with the Pats. I just did the Andy Reid thing. I like it for the Chiefs for the home field advantage, the fact that the Pats aren't good on the road. But, man, you get down to that last thing there, and it's like, are you really going to pick Andy Reid over Bill Belichick? And I say, no, I cannot do that. So I have to switch my pick and go with the Pats.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the Chiefs win, though. Don't get me wrong, Chiefs fans. I'm right there with you. I'm going to be rooting for you, but
like you said, Greg, like you're going to be like Bill Belichick's going to look at Andy Reid funny, and Andy Reid's going to call like 3 timeouts in a row.
Yeah, Andy Reid's going to shit himself right there on the sidelines on national television, and that'll be that. We'll be like, well, that was funny.
You're the NHL. You're on NBC. Like, do you like your TV partners like denigrating your playoff system?
And you're really going to tell me that 30 or that blowout win by the Patriots over the Chargers was better than a 7-game series in any of the other sports? Really?
Yeah, this isn't a game 5. This isn't a game 7. It's a best of 1.
Like, I don't know. Like, if I were like the NHL, I'd be like calling someone up at NBC and being like, can you not make a mockery of our playoff system? Because we're paying, because, we're on your network.
Here's a better example. Name me a divisional playoff game from 2006.
I can't remember that off the top of my head.
I like a famous one, but, reverse sweep. What am I talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
The Sharks Kings, yeah.
Game 6. Well, there's a few Game 6s, but, come on. 2002 Lakers Kings, when the Kings got – I get it. I mean, look, the NFL playoffs are great too, but let's not pretend like that every one of these games is the greatest thing that's ever happened. 9 times out of 10, they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it kind of aggravated me. It's like, we're the best of one. And don't give the NFL any ideas. We're going to start getting best of threes, and the playoffs are going to take till April. We've decided that the conference championship should be the best of 3.
Oh, God.
I wouldn't put it past them.
I wouldn't either. Just
Sunday,
because...
Thursday, Sunday. There you go. You could do it in 2 weeks. God. Oh, I don't know how much of it you guys watched, but wow. Did anybody see that Clemson ass whooping of Alabama coming?
I didn't even watch it.
We talked about it last week.
Did we?
Yeah.
I thought we were recording the show when it was going on.
No, that's... Yeah.
Because I remember doing a score update in the middle of the show.
Did we? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. College football this year was complete uneventful. Like, I don't even care.
I have never seen Alabama get their ass kicked like that. That was amazing.
I don't even care that Alabama got their ass kicked. It's like, whatever. Clemson won. Congratulations.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way.
Enjoy your McDonald's and pizza at the White House.
Yeah, did you see that, Greg?
No.
Oh my God.
Dude, I can't follow politics. I just can't. At my age, I've had a heart attack. I just can't do it. I can't do it.
There's pictures of it, which is fucking great. People thought he was kind of joking, like, oh, college kids love fast food. It's like, haha, of course. And it's like, no, he shows up with Big Macs on a silver platter at the White House. It's
dude,
like,
if I go to the White House, I want some White House food. I want the real thing.
That was the other thing, is people thought, like, oh, he's joking because it's the government shutdown. They won't be able to make any food. Or college kids, they love fast food. But no. Trump literally, with his own money, paid for a tray of Big Macs and Wendy's and Burger King and pizza and fish fillets. And
what a generous guy.
He's the most generous guy you've ever met. Very generous.
Yeah, I know. He's the most. Anything you could think of, he's the most of it. Whatever, no matter what it is, he's the most of it. I don't know how you do it, Mike. I would have walked into this country and said, you know what? Fuck this. Turn around and walk right back out.
Like I was telling Zach, like this whole thing is kind of foreign to me because in Canada, the government doesn't shut down. And so it's like, you're just telling me that the government is just gone. Fascinating.
Oh, the Rams just scored a touchdown. Todd Gurley.
Are you really doing scoring updates for a game that's like a day old?
I just think it would be funny if there were people that thought they were playing again. Non-sports fans like, why are they playing again? They just played yesterday.
My grandmother does that.
Yeah, see?
Like, we're sitting there watching a game, and they'll show a replay, and she'll be like, oh, they scored again!
I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but the Seattle NHL ownership group was giving away free swag.
Yeah, it's all red and black.
Red. It's red. It's black and red.
Yeah.
Well, really?
Because that's what the NHL needed, was another red and black team.
See, I was kind of hoping if they had to subject us to another team, that at least go with like a cool color scheme or something, you know? Have they come up with a name yet?
Supposedly, the names that were thrown out there are Steelheads and Sockeyes.
Not great.
The Seattle's problem is that Vancouver already had their color scheme.
Yes.
And now that they want to use red and black, well, Seattle's rival in other sports is Portland.
Who's red and black.
Red and black. So, the only thing red and black in the city of Seattle is Seattle University, which obviously isn't UW or Washington State.
You got the Mariners, UW, the Seahawks, and I suppose the
Sounders.
Could you do like a Falcons or who was the other team? I was just reading that did this. It was a USFL team, the Jacksonville Bulls. So they kind of pulled the color from all the different college and teams and like kind of put together an identity like that. Why not try something like that instead of red and black? Come on. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Blackhawks kind of own that scheme anyway.
Blackhawks, Senators, Devils, Hurricanes. Flames. There's actually a lot of red and black. The NHL doesn't need another.
Well, first off, the Flames need to get rid of the black. That would solve part of the problem because I always think of them as just the red and gold and white. The Lanny McDonald era Flames, that mustache and all that. God damn, I used to love watching Hockey Night in Canada. I lived in Toledo and we got CBC. So it was just the greatest thing.
Do, 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 do.
That was the hockey I grew up on, like you, Mike. That's where I watched hockey, was CBC. Not in the United States, you know?
Oh, yeah. A friend of mine texted me a few weeks back saying the commentary on the American channel sounds like it's directed towards 12-year-olds from Appalachia. So.
Well, you got to remember that they think that they are talking to 12-year-olds that don't know anything about the game, and I don't know that ever works. Mm-hmm. I don't know that anybody's going to say, okay, the announcing makes sense to me, so I'm going to become a fan. I would think that's about the last thing you would consider. But yeah, I used to, the CBC, man, Channel 9 on Toledo Cable. It was awesome. Every Saturday night. Watch those great Islanders teams, great Oilers teams, all on CBC.
I just checked out, I just popped by NHL.com. The Bruins are wearing their Winter Classic uniforms against the Canadiens.
Let's see here. Those colors jumping right out of the screen there. That looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edmonton switched to orange full time for the jerseys this year, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
I don't know if I'm crazy about
I don't
that.
like it.
Yeah. It's better as an alt.
I personally blame the orange jerseys for the Oilers' downturn. Like after that one year where they had a decent playoff run, the hockey gods were like, "You're going to get rid of the uniforms of like one of the greatest hockey teams that ever played. All right, so now you're going to play like garbage."
All right. So while we're here, unless you guys want to hang up, I just got a question real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Of the great hockey teams, and I know it's kind of tough because the Canadiens are like, you know, but where is Edmonton, like between Edmonton, like the Islanders?
In my opinion,
yeah, like where does that Oilers group that won the 5 cups rank?
In my opinion, the contest for greatest hockey team of all time is between the 70s Canadiens or the 80s Oilers.
Okay.
It's one of those two. And
well, Mike, it's obviously the Oilers. They have a banner to prove it.
Oh, gee. Did they win? They won that NHL poll, didn't they?
Yeah. So
they raised a banner for that?
Wait, what?
During the 100th season of the NHL, the NHL had a poll, like a fan-based poll, that was to determine who was the greatest team of all time.
Oh, okay.
They chose the 85 Oilers.
Is that the year Gretzky put up 209 points and all that? No, that was 83, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Anyway.
But they raised a banner for it during that season. I don't know if it's still there, but they did raise a banner that season for the greatest team of all time based on NHL.
Which, to be fair, is not as lame as regular season Western Conference champions.
It's pretty lame. Pretty lame.
Yeah, no, it is. Especially when you're the Oilers and you have like legit accomplishments to have banners for.
Well,
like,
they won five cups overall, right?
Like the Stanley Cup they won for that season.
Yeah, that is true. You're the Oilers. You shouldn't have to resort to those shenanigans. Like that's something the Panthers would do.
Like you can have a pregame ceremony or whatever, but you don't need to raise a damn banner for it.
Or maybe just for that night or whatever, just like, hey, here's what it looks like. Take a look at it. When you come back, it'll be gone.
Out of that, there is, though, the WNBA attendance, champions banner.
Oh, Jesus. We managed to sucker more people to come to our games than the other teams did. I'm sorry, that's mean. I pull for the WNBA. I would love to see it succeed.
Yeah, here it is. I think we've talked about this on the show before, but it always cracks me up to see it. They did it twice, the 2002 and 2003 and WNBA attendance champions. Back to back.
Do you get rings for that?
Oh, God.
Oh, man. That's kind of sad. I mean, it's funny, but you feel bad for him, too, kind of.
Is the WNBA even still a thing? Is that still going on?
I think so, yeah. I think they just had their championship, not recently, but I'm pretty sure I remember reading about it. I think.
Good for them.
Oh, is that the greatest team ever banner?
Oh, yeah. Right next to a banner for Glenn Sather and his 5 Stanley Cups as GM of the team, which is a weird one.
Yeah, that is kind of strange, isn't it?
The greatest team, 84-80.
Wow, guys. I get it, and I don't get this ever, but it makes a little more sense if you're like the Columbus Blue Jackets or the whoever's. But you're the Edmonton Oilers, one of the greatest teams of all time. 5 cups. You don't need this shit. Just let those 5 cup banners hang there and be done with it. That's all you need, I think. Wow. Wow. There it is. Yeah. There it is.
Western
fucking
regular
turds.
season.
Come on.
I still got, I'm sorry, Zach. I don't like to take the piss out of the Colts, but the AFC finalists.
That's a bad one. Yeah.
We participated in a game. Here's a banner to prove it.
Or the playoff banner the Sharks have in their practice rink.
Yeah.
Where it's like years made the play. To their credit, they at least had enough self-awareness to be like, we can't hang that in the actual arena.
Oh, sports are so wonderful.
Oh God, I just said like you would have thought the President's Trophy banner would imply that they were the best team in their conference.
Well, just in case, we are talking Nashville here, Mike, so maybe it needed to be explained in a little more detail. Just saying.
Oh,
the biscuit in the basket.
The biscuit is, oh Jesus.
And, why not name that team the Nashville Biscuits too? I mean, come on, that would have been awesome.
Well, okay, this is hilarious. So the NHL had wanted to go to Nashville for years before the Predators came along. And at one point, the New Jersey Devils were going to move to Nashville. And the plan, I think for I want to say 95 or so, when the team almost moved, they were going to become the Nashville Hockey Tonks.
See, that's a cool name. I like that.
I don't know if I like that or Rocky Mountain Extreme. Better.
Oh, yeah, the Avs original name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like any name that you can't make the team uniform into a manifestation of that name. Where you see it we were watching the Rose Bowl with the Buckeyes in Washington, and I asked my girlfriend, I said, "You see those little triangles on the jersey?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "What do you think those stand for?"
Well, the iconic jaws of Husky Stadium.
Well, I said, she goes,
or the iconic husks of a Razorback.
Well, by the way,
she came up with 5 or 6 answers that were frankly way better than the actual correct answer. Yeah. She was like, is it, just a way to, I forget, to accentuate the color, stuff like that. I'm like, no, it's for the iconic jaws of Husky Stadium. And she just started laughing, and she's like, "You're kidding, right?" I said, "No, that's exactly what it is."
Sadly, Washington is moving on to be an Adidas team next season.
Oh. So we're gonna lose the iconic jaws of Husky Stadium.
It sounds like we might lose the iconic jaws of Husky Stadium.
Man, there's nothing sacred in the world anymore.
By the way, there's more of them for the Washington Mystics.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, no, they have a bunch.
Look at that, 3-time attendance champions.
They have since taken those down. I do know that.
So could you call that an attendance dynasty? I mean, is that what that is? We've got more people that come to watch us than anybody else. That makes us great.
Oh God. This Saints one, this is with a few other funny ones. The Patriots one is particularly funny just because of how it ended, but just take a look at the Saints one.
All right.
First season.
Oh no.
That was the year after Katrina. So,
yeah.
It's kind of a thing more like we rebounded as a city, which is good. But
what do you guys think about the Patriots in the 16-0 regular season record?
That's just sad. Honestly.
That one, they've taken that one down too.
That
one's not up anymore.
It's one of those things where remember the year that the Golden State Warriors broke the Bulls record for most wins in a season, but nobody remembers that because they lost in the finals.
Yes, it's my Cleveland Cavaliers.
So it's one of these cases where, as sad as it is, you can have the greatest season of all time, but if you don't finish the deal, no one cares.
Yeah,
and so that Patriots banner is really kind of sad, and you'd think the Patriots would know better, because it's one of those things where it's like, if they had won the Super Bowl and finished undefeated, that's
that's
great.
a whole different animal, yeah.
But they didn't. Like, they lost, and there's not much to say. Like, you lost.
You went 18-1, which is fantastic, but you didn't win the most important game of those 19 games, which was the last one.
Yeah.
That makes all the difference, yeah. Yeah, because part of me's like, yeah, it's cool that they acknowledge it, but then again, it really doesn't mean anything. I mean, it does, because it's very hard to do, but ultimately, you just didn't lose a game in the regular season, and that's all that happened.
Also, this is great. Like this Google search has given me so many great, like, sad banners. Take a look at this one that the Lions have.
Oh, no.
NFL playoffs.
Yeah.
2011.
We played in a game, and here's a banner to prove it. Wow.
Oh, boy.
I just love how, like, there's, like, the one lone banner off to the side that just has 2011 on it.
Folks, that's going to do it for tonight. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports. Subscribe via iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, and the YouTubes. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Later.
Go Rams.